Welcome to the brand spanking new MMA channel from talkSPORT. I'm Adam Catterall. It is a pleasure to be in your company. Now, when I've been talking to the bosses about launching this channel, and this has been going on for a long period of time, they've finally given in and said, listen, we're going to do it, but it has to be big. The start has got to be big. It does not get bigger than this. I've said to him, we're going to go red panties, man. We are going to go all the way in. Look who's here. The one and only Notorious.
What's up, Adam? How are you, man?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Good to launch. Good to launch.
Listen,
always.
Listen, we're not here to take part, my friend.
We're here to take over.
That's the one. That's how we do. Listen, before we talk all MMA, because that's what people are tuning in for, they want to know when you're going to be back doing your thing. I want to talk movies, because this is a bit of a crazy week for us to be having a conversation. Normally we're building up to a fight, but now we're building up to the launch of a film.
Yeah.
March 21st, Roadhouse, with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Mate, this is crazy.
It is pretty crazy.
Come on, let's be honest, eh?
I certainly am a lucky Irish or a lucky Irish son of a bitch, because I landed on my feet here with this. This is as high as it gets in the Hollywood game, you know? I've got co-star Jake Gyllenhaal, I've got director Doug Liman.
Mate.
You know, it's phenomenal movies. I've got producer Joel Silver. It's a mega production. And I landed on my feet. I'm a lucky man. Lucky man, for sure.
You've been flirting with stepping into movies for a period of time. Now, I know...
Have I? I don't think I have at all. In fact, I've been dodging them like left and... like the left and rights.
Well, that's the point, right? Because other people maybe have been flirting with the idea of Conor McGregor coming into the movies.
I wasn't trying to do this. I was not trying to do this.
Okay. So why are we doing it?
It just presented itself, and, you know, with the injury and everything just aligned for it. And, you know, then when I read the story and, you know, or understood what the movie was going to be that they wished for me to be in, who was in it, who was a part of it, then it all fell into place. But I was turning this game down before I done this one. You know what I mean? Many a time.
You are one of the most confident people I've ever come across. Especially
I'm Conor McGregor.
Exactly.
You know?
But when you step into a world that isn't your world, i.e. the acting business, and you're in with the likes of the Jake Gyllenhaals, who's Oscar nominated and all that, what goes on inside? Are you just comfortable straight away, or is there a moment in your head where you're thinking, right, okay, there's a different headspace that I've got to get to here?
I surprised myself as I was able to get into the role, Handy. I was able to get into the role. I had them afraid. I had them in fear. Like I said, Adam, no one really knows the real me, so it bodes well into a career like this, because people can be on edge, they don't know. So I kind of just played with that and, you know, got that reaction and got that vibe and just ran with it. And then I also, you know, I took direction well. I done what they'd asked of me. And, you know, it came out okay, I think. I wouldn't say, like, versus the other actors in the movie that, like, I'm an actor. I think it's evident that I'm not an actor per se, but I'm definitely show business.
A devilishly flamboyant villain, I think.
Yeah, that's something like that.
Somebody's described you as, my man. Yeah?
Yeah, a lot, you know, that's it. That's pretty...
That's basically the character, isn't it?
Pretty correct, yeah. You know, about his business, takes no shit, has fun.
Who does that remind you of?
Yeah, you know, yeah. I mean,
how much creative license did you get with the fight scenes? Because that's your world, so I'm sure that you could add little bits that way.
For sure. I joked I should have had my name on the end credits as well. You know, for sure I gave my input on the fight scenes. They brought me to a warehouse for, you know, the set was around the corner, let's say, the real set. And, you know, when I arrived, they brought me to a warehouse. And in the warehouse was the Roadhouse in cardboard boxes, the shape of where I was going. They handed me the golf club, they told me the objective, and off you go.
Crack on.
And then I cracked on. And then I picked up the chick, kissed the hand, and all of that.
A little dance?
A little dance, all of that was me. And then the fight and the run and the throw and a few things. I could have got a credit for that scene. I should have got a credit for that scene.
Is there any more movies in the pipeline? Seeing as that you've had a little taste?
I have had no conversations with no one.
Okay.
And I know there's talks probably back going on. I'm sure I'm not privy to it. I don't want to hear it. So for me, no. No, there is no movies more for me.
Okay. So the next step then, I anticipate, is getting back in that octagon.
Yeah, like I said, I have 2 fights left on my UFC contract. We're still in the first quarter of 2024. You know, I've got this workload on me right now because I've got the promotion of the movie. I've got St. Patrick's festivities with the alcohol. After that, it's a closed door. So I get to go in and close the door and, you know, map my plan. and then gym, home, gym, home, gym, home. And I hope I get some clarity with a date, and I can push towards it. I'm sure we will get something in by year end. You know, that's what I'm hoping.
You flirted in the past with International Fight Week, which is the end of June.
Mm-hmm.
Is that realistic
Yeah,
for you?
for sure. I would like that. I would love that. If they give me that and then we can go ahead and straight away, you know, for sure.
That sphere in Las Vegas looks good as well, doesn't it? To maybe, the big ball that they've created there.
You did call for that also. That would be great for me. June 29th and then the sphere. And then, you know, then what? Then what happens then? I don't know. And I'm sure, I wonder, do they know? There's been no talk about like anything, you know, so I wonder what next.
What about opponents? Who do you want to fight?
It's good to see Poirier get that win the weekend. That makes this the quadrilogy, and you know, we'll say the real trilogy, the finish of it, to put an end to it, to put a finish to it. That is a huge bout right now. So I anticipated the result would go that way, and I was happy to see it. And that's a big one for sure. Obviously, I've got the Diaz trilogy. That's what I had said for the sphere. You know, there was cold water put on that publicly. Off the bat, and I wasn't happy with that. So I'm not that. I mean, I need discussion or conversation because you know, if I lose interest, if I'm not getting anything back, and I just drift off, my man. So I hope I can get something in and get dialed in.
What's the noise with Chandler? Because obviously you did tough.
Chandler, of course. Yeah, that's it. I would assume that would be the first one.
Yep.
I would assume that would be the first one. Maybe Makhachev and Poirier fight for the title in July. You know, I don't think Poirier will be ready. He said something about some ribs or something like that. And then there was a bit going on the head and whatnot after the bell. Maybe some reflection after he got knocked. It was a bad knockout he suffered in that fight against Gaethje. And so you just don't know where anyone's at really mentally or whatnot. But again, I'll revert back to that's because that just happened the weekend. That's why it's recently in my head and when I'm speaking on it. It's the opponent doesn't matter. I just wish for a nice run up, you know, a bit of transparency, and let me go for it again.
Just finally, back to the movie. Obviously, working with Jake, there's a little bit of UFC in there as well. What was it like being able to bring Jake into your world for? I mean, you filmed a ceremonial weigh-in, but it was at a weigh-in, wasn't it? It was at a proper weigh-in for John Jones. So what was that like?
Yeah, so I was there also. I was present, you know, with the crew and with the team. And obviously, the UFC fans we are about as real as it gets. So they see an acting set come on and something like that's not the real fight, they're not going to respond well to it. So we kind of were aware of that, but we wanted the pop. So I got out into the crowd, and I was the pop. You know, I got the crowd riled up, and then I was the fan. So like back in the day, and still to this day. So it worked out very well. And when the scenes break in from he's asleep in the car and he's a bit slumber, and then it kicks into the walk in the UFC, I light up. For me watching that, I think it was worth every bit of effort to get it and make it happen, because it brought the movie to life for me.
Listen, congratulations on it, because I've no doubt there's a lot of pressure on you, obviously stepping into this world. When people watch this, I think they're going to be impressed with you doing what you do.
Appreciate that, thank you.
And I'm sure that there'll be calls for you to do it again, but from us as fight fans,
let's rock and roll, Adam. Let's rock and roll.
We want to see Notorious doing his thing.
Man. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much.